Let's get on with the details of those stories now. In the last 3 days alone, there have been nearly 10 earthquakes, you can call them earth tremors, in parts of the world, including a moderate quake in Ghana's capital, Accra, which measured 3.9 magnitude on the Richter scale. The experts say a major earthquake is imminent in Ghana, giving us here at JoyNews a reason to take a look at what earthquakes are and what we can do in case it happens, and what then can be done to avoid or at least minimize the casualties, injuries as well, and destruction. And we put together experts from the Environmental Protection Agency, from Nadmo, and the Ghana Geological Survey Department to have this conversation. But first, a quick fact sheet about earthquakes. Now, earthquakes before, we'll show you pictures of earthquakes before and after videos. And of course, earthquakes, when you talk about tremors, it is the shaking of the surface of the earth, which usually results from the sudden release of energy in the earth's lithosphere, and it then creates those seismic waves. Now, earthquakes can range in size from those that are so weak that they cannot be felt to those that are violent enough to actually toss people around and destroy entire cities. So those are pictures that you see in your shot right now. Now, at the Earth's surface, earthquakes manifest themselves by shaking and displaying or disrupting the ground. And you can see a photo of photos of the description that I'm putting across to you right now. We'll show you videos of a tsunami as well, and that happens when the epicenter of a large earthquake is located offshore. The seabed may be displaced sufficiently to cause a tsunami. And again, earthquakes can also trigger landslides and occasionally volcanic activity. And you do remember the landslide that happened in Sierra Leone that caused devastation, total devastation to that country. Now, in Ghana, the Geological Survey Department, the EPA, Nadmo, and other bodies responsible for monitoring and preventing or reducing the impact of an earthquake, at least, have warned that an earthquake big enough to cause significant damage to parts of Accra is imminent. We start this conversation with a visit to an earthquake zone where, ironically, lands are more expensive than those that experts consider safe from earthquakes. Maxwell Agbagba with our report from McCarthy Hill.
Say Saturday's tremor measured 3.9 magnitude on the Richter scale, one of the highest that we've seen this year. Residents here at McCarthy Hill and Wager, which are earthquake-prone zones, have been sharing their terrifying experience on what happened Saturday evening. But the question is, are we ready as a people for an earthquake? Are we ready for the big one?
It was a very severe type than the previous one that we've ever experienced. And looking at the impact of the vibration from time to time, I would advise that when you are indoor and it happens, you need to come out. For safety first, you need to come out from your building.
But you know what to do in case there's an earthquake?
Well, that's what I think for safety one is supposed to do. But I don't know any safety measure regarding to earthquake.
On Saturday in the evening, we were at the hostel, Dayata. Then we had a sudden sound that really frightened us because we were inside them. When that sound happened, we all came out and we were like, wow, what's going on? But we later on realized that it was a tremor. Then from there, we got relaxed. But at that instant, it was terrible because we are new to this place and we've never experienced such. So at that instant, we got frightened.
Do you know what to do in case of an earthquake?
No, I don't have any knowledge of what to do in case it happened. So if at all, like, there are experts in this area, like they can advise us on what to do for safety reasons. Because for me, I don't have any idea of what to do.
Oh, it was crazy. Like, I just saw everyone outside. Like, they didn't know what happened, and so we were just outside there, just waiting to see what else was going to happen. I just hope it doesn't happen again.
But do you know what to do in case there's an earthquake or anything like that?
Hide under your bed, table. What else? Maybe if you have a basement, go under your basement or something like that. But not you shouldn't be outside. That's the least safest place to be.
It was a very traumatizing and scary experience. You know, something that I had never felt before. Like my friend said, you know, in Africa, I've never experienced, you know, such type of shock waves. You know. So it was very traumatizing. Yeah.
Do you know what to do in case there's an earthquake or something?
You know, since that happened, I started researching on my own, and then, you know, things like going under the table, hiding under the bed, you know, those kind of things, you know, I believe should help me survive an earthquake if that happens.
Was it the first time it's happening, the tremor was happening here?
For me, this is the first time I felt it here, because I'm new to this area.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was actually frightening, because actually I was not around the area when it happened, but where I was, there was nothing like that.
Okay.
So it's kind of frightening. So I think we need to be prepared for whatever is coming out, and also know safety measures to follow. You know, another happens again. So the only one I know about is being under your table and what's been on that. So I think safety first. So in case of any other thing.
Do you think we are prepared enough for an earthquake?
We are not prepared for it, because if you ask most people what an earthquake is, they will not, or let's say a tremor, they won't know what it is, you know, because they are only used to hearing it from Asia, Europe, and all those places, but not in Africa. And most of us are not actually, volatile with the safety measures to carry on. You understand? So I think we actually need to put in effort to make people aware of safety measures to follow in case of things like this, because safety first, that's the major thing, you know. So.
Maxwell Agbagba, they're speaking to some residents in that area. So why do people want to remain in such areas despite these warnings? Here are some of the residents again in Waja, an area which experienced a tremor last year.
Yeah, sometimes because of the warning that, so you feel that it can happen. Every dies, all die, we die. Like Nadmo say, all die, we die. So when you are at the down there, the earthquake, you can die. The same thing, this place too, you can die. So all die, we die.
Well, it's us, because it's dangerous, looking at where we stay, under a mountain. But it's a natural thing, there's nothing you can do about it. Until then, we don't know what will happen.
Have you thought of relocating?
Yes, by all means. By all means.
How soon are you relocating?
I can't tell for now. Can't tell.
Oh, but we no matter what some 2 years ago, and he said,
I heard about it 2 years ago, but there's nothing we can do for now. We know we may lose our lives and properties should a disaster occur, but we're just praying nothing bad happens.
You try
I doubt a mudslide may occur. At worst, anytime it rains, only portions of it will be washed away. By the grace of God, it will never collapse.
So those are some of the residents there sharing their thoughts with us, some of their fears. Some of them have actually become immune, if you like. They say, oh, die, be die. Well, let's have that conversation now. My guest in the studio is George AC. George AC speaks for the National Disaster Management Organization. He's head of their Public Affairs Department. Mr. AC, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you, dear.
And we're also hoping that Nicholas Opoku, who is a senior seismologist at the Ghana Geological Survey Department, will join us. Now, what we know this afternoon is that earlier, when this happened, President Akufo-Addo was, took an interest in the matter and actually asked the national security and other relevant state or agencies to deal with it, or to come up with a plan, a contingency plan, if you like. We understand that a meeting is currently ongoing, and we will be able to bring you updates as and when we go along. But if you or a relative or even a friend lives in an area where it's earthquake prone, such as Wejag, Bawe, McCarthy Hill, Sotum, Old Kaswa Barrier, New Botiano, Awoshi, Abelengbe, Tabora, Achimota, Ablekuma, Kiseman, Westland, Latebiokoshi, Legon, and those areas, do join us on social media and get in touch with us on our Facebook page and suggest some solutions if you want to this impending danger, and let's see how we can deal with it. Let me just start with you, Ms. Sayisi, about this conversation. Like I indicated earlier on, the president has taken interest in this matter, especially since this weekend there was another one. What kind of conversation are you having at the National Disaster and Management Organization, about this?
Yeah, thank you. There's already been preparatory talks towards this because we've had about this is the third or fourth earth tremor occurring from last year to this point. So there's the need for these disaster agencies. Nadmo coordinates all these agencies. So we are to be in talk to have a preparedness plan, okay, disaster preparedness plan for earthquake in place. So that's the kind of conversation we already have a multi-hazard plan there, but you need disaster preparedness. I'd like for you
to help our viewers understand this. Yeah. When you say preparedness plan, exactly what it is.
Yeah, we having these tremors. It means there's the highly likely possibility that there'll be an earthquake. Okay. When it does occur, how prepared are we as an agency or organization with our partner agencies to help mitigate the effects of the Ghanaian people?
Are we ready?
Yes, very ready.
What shows? I mean, give us what you know, the kind of information that's available to you that we don't know, that should give us confidence that we're well prepared.
Yeah, as an agency, last year when you look at the hazard plans or table, the top one on it is the flood plan. Floods, that's the major hazard that occurs frequently in Ghana. And so we have fires, and of course, earthquake is there. But, last year we decided to have an earthquake simulation exercise in Ghana with the North Dakota Guards from the U.S., sponsored by the U.S. Embassy. And so we had it, a tabletop simulation at Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. And then we came to Accra Sports Stadium to have full-scale simulation exercise. That was when they were doing the renovations there. So we had scenes that resembled a collapsed building. So it was to test our preparedness to respond swiftly to any such occurrence. And it was a good exercise.
Would you believe, how would you respond to any Ghanaian who says, look, even flood, they will say something that's less serious as flooding. The Nadmo has been woefully unprepared, has been totally unable to deal with flooding in this country. How much more an earthquake? How would you respond to Ghanaians who say that?
No, we having challenges. Each year floods occur. It's about drainage, this thing, and Nadmo is not in charge of the construction of drains, right? We must have the drains. We see challenges and difficulties. We report to the works and housing people. They take charge of the drains and co. When they are choked and co, yes, we help to desilt them. So that is it. Now we're looking at earthquake. The issue is when it does happen, how do you respond to it? How swiftly can we respond to it? You get it? And that is what we went to test to see.
Okay, so assuming that an earthquake happens right now, what's going to happen?
Yeah, an earthquake is a mass casualty event. What it means is that when it does happen, a lot of people are affected. When it happens and we get it, definitely all the agencies are brought together to move. Then if buildings collapse, and then definitely there'll be heavy boulders therein. So you need to have heavy machines that can lift those boulders. Then we coordinate with 48 Engineers Regiment. They have those equipment. And so definitely they will be brought in. Okay. When there is an earthquake, definitely roads may be cut off, right? If roads are cut off, then you need to link up with the Air Force, okay, to bring in helicopters. So Nadmo is a coordinating agency. So we partner all our agents, Ghana Health Services, ambulance services must move in. Okay. If we need to get in touch with electricity company of Ghana to take off power, we do that swiftly. Okay. You get it? So, and then we get the telcos to also come in to support so that we can link up everywhere.
Okay. So you're coordinating all of these activities. Yeah. This morning, President Akufo-Addo indicated that the national security and other relevant organizations should look into this and prepare a plan. Yeah. Is your boss in that meeting?
Yes, definitely.
He's in that meeting?
Yes, definitely.
So what's going to happen in this meeting?
Yeah, they are going to, you know, all the agencies have their individual plans. Some have some already, and then you are to bring them to the table. Then they are going to coordinate all these and put them together as a national plan. If there is something to be added or something to be taken away, it is done. And then you have it and bring it as a major national plan for disaster preparedness as far as earthquake is concerned.
Hang on for me, Mr. Isi. Let me get on the phone lines now and speak to a seismic engineer. He's Silvanus Ahulu, Engineer Silvanus Ahulu. Sir, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Dr. Silvanus Ahulu. Doc, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. We're learning that looking at what has happened, and some we don't even feel that there's an imminent earthquake. You know, not the small ones, the moderate ones, as they call it, or the earth tremors that we're experiencing right now. There's an imminent major earthquake. Is this something you can confirm?
Yeah. It depends upon the frequency. Okay. If you start experiencing the minor ones very frequently, then it means you should expect a bigger one in the near future.
When you say frequently, how many is frequent?
I think within this short period, within I think a month or two, we've experienced 2 for now, which is very, very short. Because normally it's supposed to be maybe every year or every 2 years. But since these ones are becoming very frequently, within a month or two, having 2 tremors, it leads to be some alarming issue anyway.
Interesting. Is there any reason why this is happening around these areas? McCarthy Hill, Bawe, Sotum, Old Kaswa. Is there anything special about this area that makes it earthquake prone?
Yeah. There are 2 major fault zones. One is along the coast, and the one is from Pole down there. And the 2 meet around those areas. And those 2 faults are active. When we say a fault is active, it implies that it often generates this earth tremor. So the junction there is highly active area. So it is supposed to be a very high hazardous area in terms of earthquake. Yeah. So we are not surprised the area is experiencing some of these tremors frequently.
So, under normal circumstances, what should be done if you realize that this is a trend and this is there's an imminent earthquake? What should be done ordinarily and by what standards?
Earthquakes don't kill.
Say that again, sir. I missed it.
Earthquakes don't kill. It's the poor structures that kill. So those over there should engineer their structures. And I think the problem too is that those who give the permit, they are aware that the area is a prone zone. So they should have taken the earthquake factor in their structure analysis so that when the structures are a little bit stronger, they can withstand this most. You don't have problem. You can sit there and then, The only thing is that you should learn the drill so that if it happens, what you should do. But if your structure is so strong in such a way that when the tremor comes, it will not collapse it, you don't have a problem.
Beyond these, does it mean that all that we can do as a people is just to think of how we deal with it when it happens? Is there anything that can be done about prevention? Does it work that way?
Yeah, the prevention is, as it is now, we can go around, look at the structures that are not weak. Then you retrofit them. Retrofitting is to strengthen them.
Okay.
So that if the bigger ones come, the structure should be able to withstand it.
Interesting. I do have a representative from the National Disaster Organization with us right now, and I am just trying to quiz what exactly they're doing in terms of how we respond to this imminent danger that's ahead of us. He's talked about how they're going to, they've thought of coordinating, you know, affairs among security agencies, among, you mentioned, sorry? All the disaster agencies.
And
so you have the military, and includes them?
Yeah, because they give us the feed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if there is any more information you can add to this plan that the Nadmo says it is developing as, you know, our way of, as a contingency plan.
They are at the table. They are part of the plan.
Right.
It's a good plan, but those people, when they get there, they should make sure that there should be areas that those vulnerable structures, if it happens, you can just take people over there, get a big shelter, make sure that area is well open. And then also, there should be space, because when it happens and then you are going to rescue and whatever it is, you need space. So I think the whole area needs to be replanned. We have to restructure the area, good proper planning, where there should be roads, you know, and then after that, the coordination aspect. Who should do what? Who should take what? You know, it should be very coordinated. Apart from that, you know, there's nothing much to be done. And actually, the area, those within the area, I'm sure they know, because organizations have been visiting them often and often, giving them education about what they should do, and you know, so they are aware.
They're aware. They're aware. Okay, we'll wrap this up shortly. But Mr. Isi, just want to find out from you. We understand that there's an earthquake monitoring center which is out of order.
Yeah.
Is this correct?
I think yes. Mr. Poku would have been able to answer that properly.
If there's an earthquake monitoring center, will that not be of concern to the Nadmo?
Yeah, it is. That's why I said they are part of the.
But I want to confirm with you. Do you know? Do you know this?
Yes,
Since you are preparing.
Yes,
for,
I know. We've been at workshops and they've spoken about.
And they've spoken about it.
And they even said there's another center in Mali that monitors here.
Okay.
Okay, and then in fact, when we had that with the U.S. people, the North Dakota guys and co, we had seismologists, professors and co in the meeting, and they gave us all that, and they thought we should have a very functioning one in Ghana.
So we don't have, as we speak, Mr. and Dr. Ola, I'll have you help us with what's happening there. We don't have an earthquake monitoring center, and we know at this point that there is an imminent earthquake.
We do, but I think some of the stations that are not functioning. But we have one standby station which is at Achimota, our office. Okay. And that one, when it happens, you can quickly go and retrieve the data, and then it will give you a quick, you know, idea about whatever magnitude and where it occurs from. But the other ones are the various stations, outside stations. That one, what is happening now is the transmission. You know, you have to transmit the data through a geo-satellite, and it comes. And I think that's the problem we're having. But when you go to the station, you can retrieve it manually and do it. But the quick one is at the office. That's used to do quick analysis.
So if if that has to be fixed, how can that be fixed? This morning we've heard the president show interest in what's happening with the earthquakes. So perhaps this is a good time to bring up this conversation again and have it fixed. What needs to be done for it to be fixed?
Oh, I think the bottom line is money, because it's been run by an organization at I think Georgia. They are owning the satellite, and we are owing them for the transmission.
They're owing them. So we owe people some money. That's why we cannot use a earthquake monitoring center.
Well, it's very expensive maintaining such equipment, especially when we have our network so broad, But we have the manual one that will help you quickly, But if you, after that, getting the fairly magnitude and then where it comes from, you will need the other ones to do further analysis and for academic work. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if I'm not quite sure that you answered the question for me, even though the information you provided is good information. What can be done about the earthquake monitoring center? If we pay that money that we owe, would that be all that there is to be done for it to be functioning properly?
Oh, you are owing them. So when you pay, they will just transmit the data for you. So that is it. And then, because apart from that, we have the personnel for now, although there are not many, but we have some few people to manage the place. And then the seismic meters on the ground, they are functioning. And that's why I told you that if it comes to when you finish with the quick one, you can just rally around to the outside stations, the one at Chai Hill, Akosomo, and then you pick the data manually. That one you can download manually from the machine. And then when you come, you add up to what you got from the office one. Then you do complete analysis to confirm some of the values you have.
So the most important thing right now to fix our earthquake monitoring center is money.
Yes.
Money. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully, as the national security meeting is ongoing, they will put this on the table. I'll take your final word, Doc. Hang on for me briefly, because I'm coming to you, Mr. Yisi, with this. If the Nadmo is aware about this, because Nadmo is not just about, and one of the things that your boss has said he will focus on is to prevent. Rather than, so one of the things you want to know is have an earthquake monitoring center, at least. If it's not working, we know we're owing. They're having a meeting at the national security at the behest of the president. Will you carry this information to them so they will look into it?
Definitely.
Because I doubt it's on the
I told you at a certain we meet, all of us meet round the table, and these things come up. They've spoken about the challenges and I think they have machines that can give accurate measurement and somehow predict or so. And so that is what I think they don't have here. And they mentioned they have one in Mali or something. So that is it. This will get to the table now that a bigger interest from the presidency is paid to this hazard. Definitely these matters will come up, and definitely the state will release whatever money they need to get them functioning.
I hope so.
I pray so, and I know so.
You don't have to pray so. I have to pray so, and then you know so. And then you make sure that it happens. But Doc, let me take your very final comments. I mean, a lot of people, some of my colleagues who live in this area, in these areas, felt it over the weekend, and some of them were really scared. We know people who are really scared, and rightfully so. Your final thoughts on this conversation, Doc? Hello, Doc?
Yes.
Yes, your final comments on the conversation.
Oh, what I have to say is that those around those areas should just learn what to do when it occurs to avoid any casualty or whatever it is. And then they should engineer their structure. If one sees that because of this magnitude 3.9 or 4, there are some cracks or something, you should come to our office or call one of the engineers. We just bring some machines. Well, then we see the weak areas, and then we will rectify or to fit those areas. so that in future you don't have those cracks and those things. So they should take the precautions and measures that will help them to make their structure safe. That's all.
Doc, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Dr. Silvanus Ahulu is a seismic engineer. They're helping us understand these dynamics, and I've been here also with George AC.
There's education aspect too, which is important.
Yeah, I was coming to take your final thoughts as well. Who speaks for the National Disaster Management Organization? You have final thoughts?
Yeah, whilst we wait for this structural engineering to be done to our structures and all that, we need to educate the people. I was happy to hear him saying they do continuous education. We're also involved in education. And so the people need to have knowledge about the earthquake, to know that they live on the fault line and what to do when it does happen. They are saying the farther away you are from the last earthquake, the closer you are to the next one. And as the experts saying, with the current occurrences, it shows that major earthquake is imminent. If it's 5, measurement of 5 and above on the Richter scale, it means those ones cause devastation and destruction.
Because 3.9, that was
yes,
close, really close.
You know, the way some were describing it, it's very scary. Okay, so the education is going to be ongoing, and then whatever preparations we need to put in place, we will do so as a disaster agency. And then, of course, what they're doing at the national, the planning level, the preparedness planning level as they are meeting now. It's not going to be a day's work. It's going to be continuous, but definitely the plan will be put together and all of us will be in the know.
Hopefully so. George AC speaks for the Nadmo, and they're talking about their preparedness for this imminent earthquake that we're being told of.
Some were asking of evacuation.
Some people want to be evacuated.
No, they feel Nadmo should evacuate them. But we've not gotten to the stage where we are taking a decision to say we are evacuating everybody. For now, it's the education and appeal. Okay. If we get to that point, we will let the people know.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, let's leave you with the Lands Minister's worry about the inability of Geological Survey to effectively monitor seismic activities. Let's wrap up that conversation with this soundbite from the Minister.
The issue of earthquake occurrence continues to threaten the country. In order to mitigate the impact of earthquake of the country, mapping and risk assessment in McCarthy Hills and surrounding areas were carried out to map for planning and decision making. Power outage continues to hamper earthquake monitoring in the country. In order to carry out the 24/7 monitoring of earthquakes in Ghana, government has approved the installation of solar power at the Authority Earthquake Seismic Observatory.
And that is it, the discussion about earthquakes. Now, if you live in these areas which have been identified as earthquake prone, do catch us, tell us something on our social media platforms. And if you think there is a solution you want to suggest, let's put that through as well. This is still The Pulse with me, Gifty and Dr.